I've never been a big soda drinker. I'm still not.
You're still not a big soda drinker?
No. Is this a Diet Coke?
Diet Coke for you. Diet
you.
Coke.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, a mukbang. This is great. Sip it into the microphone.
Yeah, okay. Let me hear it.
I wish you could hear the bubble.
So if Andrew Huberman saw this and gave you a call, are you...
I'm picking up the damn phone. I think he's married. Do you like Post Malone?
I like Post Malone.
He's a cool guy.
Yes, and I think it would be fun to just sit down and just talk to him.
He seems very like down to earth and respectful.
Well, he's a
and,
gun guy. He loves guns. Oh, we got a lot to talk about, Post Malone. Yeah, and I really loved you at Stampede. You were amazing. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Dr. Lon McRae. And we have Cassidy. Hold away. I got it. I know, and I screwed it up. Hold away, right? And you go by Cassidy or Cassie. Which one do you like better?
I mean, my family calls me like Cass or Cassie, and I guess Cassie just kind of took off at work. So, but either is fine, really.
Yeah, we call you Cassie at work.
Yeah.
Right?
That's just like my work.
So tell me about you.
Well.
We want to know it all.
Well, I just moved to Boise in November.
So you grew up where?
In Las Vegas. Yeah, so I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and I moved from Vegas right after I turned 20.
You worked on the Strip the entire time?
Yes, I was a feather girl. My dad was super proud of me. First job. No. So I was...
Were you in Las Vegas, though? I mean, Las Vegas or outside Las Vegas?
I was like in the Summerlin area, so it's like 20 minutes off the Strip. So...
the nicer area.
Yeah, I wasn't like living in a hotel or anything.
That's what some people might think, right?
Yeah. It's fun to tell people that. Just
okay. Is there really, what do they call them? Like rat people? People
I told you about that.
Oh yeah. Okay. So what? That's real.
Yes.
What do they call them?
Mole people.
Mole people, not rat people. Mole people. And there's a whole community under Vegas.
So they live like in the tunnels under the hotels.
And there's people that bring them food, or they...
No, they like have a whole community. Like there's really cool documentaries about it. They like cook. So my sister and I were watching a documentary about it the other day, and they had this like rigged like way to have a flame, and they were making tacos, and they called them tunnel tacos. And the guy was just like mashing up the meat with his hands and stuff. So we always joke like about eating tunnel tacos.
But these people, they don't even ever come out.
They come out because the way they make money is they like forge for plastic and like copper wire, and then they turn it into their recycling plants to like make money, and then they buy food, and then they just like go back underground.
Is there kids down there?
I don't know. Gotta check it out one day.
Well, have you ever been down there?
No.
Okay, but I think people have... Okay, I just literally came back from Vegas. By the way, I was in Vegas. I was at a conference, stayed at Caesar's hotel resort, and it was 106 degrees in June, middle of June. Mm-hmm. Here in Boise, we flew back on Sunday, and it was 56 degrees. Yeah. 50-degree difference. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. I wouldn't want to live in Vegas.
It's awful.
Did you like it though, growing up?
No, I always hated it. I always told my mom, I was like, just an FYI, the second I can leave this place, I am.
Did you?
And I did.
Well, how old were you when you left? Because you're like 12 now, right?
Yeah.
So you were, what, you left when you were 11? No, so how old are you right now?
I'm 24. I'll be 25 next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so you left when, how old were you?
I had just turned 20. And I pretty much just packed up my car. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a job.
So why did you leave?
Because I hated Las Vegas.
And you literally just said, and you pointed north and you went, how did you decide on Oregon?
So I had visited a couple years prior when it was a lot nicer too, and before everything there had kind of gone downhill. And I just remember I was like, I really, really liked it there because it was just such a different environment from what I was used to.
What part of Oregon where did you go?
I lived in like, you're familiar, right? Because you went to dental school there. I lived kind of in like closer to Lake Oswego area.
Okay.
So it was like the nicer area, but it was just like such a different environment than what I was used to.
Did you see any of the crazies downtown Portland?
I did, yeah. Of course I did.
Yes, of course you did.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't live in that area, I didn't work in that area, so thankfully I was like unaffected by it unless I like wanted to go to a restaurant downtown or something. But um but yeah, I just was like really interested in the idea of like living in a green place that actually had four seasons and wasn't just like hot and dry. So yeah, I just was like, all right, I'm moving. My parents were out of the country and I emailed them and I was like, can you co-sign on a apartment for me? And I'm
What do
moving.
you mean they were out of the country, just like vacationing?
Yeah, they were
Oh,
just on a long vacation and I was like, it just like this idea like took me over and I was like, so I'm moving like the day after you get back and also could you co-sign on an apartment and also I don't have a job. And my mom was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, just trust me. It'll all work out." And so they co-signed and I moved and it all worked out.
oh wow. That's
Yeah,
how long were you in Portland?
4 years.
Oh wow, 4 years. What did you
Yeah.
do in Portland?
So I had a couple different jobs, but towards the end I was working in ortho. And it was a really fun job.
Oh, I didn't know you worked in ortho practice.
Yeah, so I worked for an ortho practice that had an office in Lake Oswego and in West Lynn, and then every 2 weeks we would go down to the southern coast of Oregon, and he kind of had like satellite offices. We worked at a couple different dental offices because that part of the coast is like pretty remote, so they don't
Mhm.
really have a lot of specialized care down there. So like for example, the kids that needed braces, they'd have to drive to Eugene, Oregon, which was like
Oh wow.
a couple hours drive. So we would go up there like every 2.5 weeks and just,
Well, that's quite a drive though to the southern part, isn't it?
yeah, it's like 4.5 hours. So
Oh,
we would wake up at like, we'd leave at like 4 o'clock in the morning, drive down, work all day, spend the night, work all day the next day, drive home.
oh, whoa.
It was like just so, like we'd fit in like a crazy amount of patients and just,
It sounds like a busy practice.
it was, yeah, just because that was their only option down there.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I lived in Lake Oswego when
Mhm.
we lived there. Let's see, almost 4.5 years. We actually lived at an apartment. We were apartment managers. I did everything I could in dental school to be as cheap as possible.
Mhm.
I was the only one of the only dental students that had full time job.
Oh, okay.
And so I had a full time job and I went to school and had two kids and was an apartment manager. I would get home sometimes literally from school at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And then my wife would go, okay, you got to go paint this apartment.
And you're
And
like,
I would have
"That's
to,
exactly what I wanna do right
oh
now."
my gosh, I hate painting. I'm trying to think, is there anything other job that I hate worse than painting? I hate doing dishes. Ugh,
Painting, it sucks.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, I asked this question, daily question. I don't
I
remember your
love that,
response.
by the way. It's, like, my favorite part of the day.
Oh, you didn't get it today.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Um, okay, but let's go back to an original question that I had already asked, and I don't remember your answer. If
Okay.
you could have a robot do one chore for you that for the rest of your life and you could never do it again, what would be the one chore that you would want this robot? And it would do it perfectly. Like it would do everything exactly the way you want it done. But you can never do it again. You can't ever like change it or like be a part of what the robot's going to do for you. What would that one thing be?
I know, exactly. It would be to clean my shower. And you're gonna think this is funny, because okay, so
What?
I
Is
hate.
it dirty all the time?
No, because I feel like I can like clean a lot of other things in my house without having to get like bleach all over my hands and like all those toxins. Like I can like use like a sponge and like not
Okay.
have to get
i-
like,
Is your place like spotless
it is extremely clean. Like,
and very organized?
yes.
That's what I kind of, yeah.
Like the other day, my dad and I never ever fight ever, but we had like gone somewhere and walked all over in like the dirt and then he walked straight into my house on my brand new rug with his like dirty shoes and I was livid and I never get mad at my dad. He literally called me later that night and he was like, just want to say I'm sorry again for walking on your carpet. Like, that's how big of a deal it is to me.
Well, that was really nice of your dad to do that. I mean,
Only
to be
because I scorched him alive.
did he clean up the mess?
Well, there was no like mess, but then in my head, I'm like, now that part of the rug is tainted with outside.
Are you kind of like a Japanese person where you walk in and immediately take your shoes off and
Yes.
it's like, and you expect everyone else to do that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then bow and hug.
Yeah. Respect the feng shui.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you would have a robot out of all so most of them in the office, almost everybody else said they would have the robot do their laundry.
I love doing the laundry.
So you don't want anybody taking that. See, for
No.
me, I said I want to be able to go and cook and grill and do all
then
that.
dishes.
And then, yes, I want somebody to do the dishes.
That would be my second choice.
The dishes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Today's question was simply if you had to become like you're reincarnated for the rest of your life as an animal, what animal are you going to pick? Reincarnated. You're coming like you're dead. You're dead. And then you're coming back to life as a specific like this animal. Well, oh, there was two of them. There's two questions today. So this is part one. What animal would you be?
It's a really simple answer.
Okay.
My parents' dog, because that's the most well cared for animal in the world.
That's actually.
I'd be loved. I would be cared for. Great food, like just
You want to come back as a dog for your parents, but
yes.
So a dog.
And then I would get to hang out with my parents.
Yeah, but you know what? You're gonna end up becoming a dog like in South Korea or North Korea and end up getting eaten.
You didn't say that was I couldn't choose.
I said you choose an animal. I didn't say a specific animal. So you're gonna end up in North Korea and you're gonna be like jerky. You're gonna be dog jerky. That's what's gonna end up happening.
Well, shoot.
Yeah.
Well, what was your answer?
I would want to come back as an elephant.
Elephants are very beautiful, like peaceful creatures.
And they're kind of badasses. Like no one's gonna mess with them.
Yeah.
Like lions are like we're not gonna.
They can't even touch them.
Yeah, they got great memories. They're in family units, and they
love music too.
Yes, and they okay. There was a story when we went to Africa. Okay, I got to tell this story. But the other thing is that they live a long life.
Yes, don't they live like? The other day I was in the car with my sister and we were just randomly like Googling how long certain animals live. We were doing this for like 20 minutes. And we Googled an elephant, but I can't remember now. It's like, is it like 80 years or something?
They're long. I don't know. Like turtles will live more, almost 200 years.
You know what animal lives a really long time is koi fish.
How long do they live?
Like hundreds of years if they're in the right care. And like people like sell them for insane amounts of money. Like mature koi fish.
I heard that there's a whale that lives like 500 years or something like that. But
I wouldn't want to be a whale.
No, I don't want to be a fish.
That's sad.
Yeah, I want to be on land, and I would like to be like okay, an elephant would be pretty cool because just everything that they have. An elephant. The problem with a dog is you're dead in 13 years.
Yeah, but then your life is just so joyous.
That is true. You know what? I think God created dogs to help us.
Best friend.
Yeah. To help us to be able to have joy, companionship, but also understand death. Because
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, when you're a kid, especially like you lose your dog, it helps you be able to learn like you love this being and now it's gone. It's so interesting because my wife, it's so funny watching her with our animals. She sometimes she hates these things, like some of our dogs or even some of the cats. Like she loves them, but then something happens to them and she feels it internally. Yeah, much worse than even.
But that's also like a mother's instinct.
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
The female instinct to like just nurture and take things on like personally. You know?
Yes, yeah, I think that happens a lot, and she's very very nurturing. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so you decide that okay, this dude in Portland, right? There's a
What
dude, there's a
dude?
guy.
No, oh,
There's a
no, I
guy.
definitely did not move there for a guy.
Yeah, but you found the guy in Portland.
I mean, I had a boyfriend at one point when I was there, but
Did he move to Portland for you?
no.
Oh, baloney.
No, I would not want a guy to move somewhere for me.
Wait a minute. Okay, let's back up. So you had your boyfriend in Vegas, right?
Well, we had dated in Vegas, broke up, and then went our separate ways, and then we like reunited in Oregon.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
a long story.
and you really think that he didn't move?
No, he had to for school.
Oh,
He
yeah. I,
he really did. He 100% did.
oh,
We hadn't talked in like years.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, I'll accept that. You're right. Okay, so
I'm so
anyways,
serious.
okay, but then you reunited in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
4-year relationship in Portland?
No,
How
no.
long?
No, it wasn't a long relationship. Maybe like 8 months.
Okay, and then it was a mutual breakup,
Mm-hmm. It was.
but you were devastated.
I was.
Okay, you told me this today.
I did.
And then
Mm.
you got to a point where it was like you were so I mean, you were hurt and you were
For
quiet.
sure. Yeah,
And
like if I'm going through something, I just completely stop talking to everyone that I know. About like I'll just like go MIA.
and so your mother knew something was wrong.
So she flew out to see me.
That what a great mom.
Oh, my mom, like, of course I'm partial, but I mean, my parents in general, they're just the
How
best.
often do you talk to your mother?
It's hard to measure, like, every day, multiple times a day.
How
See
about your
her,
dad?
same. My dad and I are extremely close.
So you talk to both of them.
Maybe not my dad every day because he hates like being on the phone. He just like whenever I call him, he's like, "Is there a purpose to this?" And I'm like, "No."
Just want to talk to you, Dad.
Just want to say hey, but we're really really close.
And you're really close with you have one sister
Yes, one sister.
and you have 7 brothers.
No.
Any brothers?
No,
No.
just me and my sister.
Your sister is older?
Yes, she's 4
You're the
years older.
baby?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We just saw your sister
Yes,
the other
you
day.
did.
And what did we do on your sister?
You did an extraction and removed some tori.
We just removed some tori.
And
That's right.
she's doing great.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So tori is a piece of bone that can grow in the jaw because when you clench, sometimes that bone, if you think about it, what happens is teeth come together, there's a lot of pressure, there's a vibration, and that bone does one of two things. A lot of people, it actually can resorb and you lose bone. That's called periodontal disease. And sometimes it's called buttressing. So it's a buildup of bone. In her case, she's young, and in the back of her mouth, it actually created this point that was really, really, I mean, very sharp. Well, the tissue over it, every time she touched it with her tongue, it would hurt. So we had to go in, we reflected the tissue, and it was really hard to get to the area that we were. Then I just basically had to take.
And she almost threw up on you.
Yeah, she did. She was a gagger.
Yeah.
Did she have a gag reflex growing up?
I don't know. That's not something I knew about her.
Well, you come in and she was like, oh,
I know.
oh,"
I was
and
like,
she was sedated. And so it wasn't her fault. It was just literally a
Yeah.
gag reflex.
yeah.
So I had this patient years ago. He was in the military and he created a gag reflex mentally so that the military dentists couldn't work in his mouth because they were hurting him so bad. And they would literally tell him as a command, you have to sit there and take it.
Oh gosh.
And he created in his mind the ability to be able to gag I would take a cotton roll and get to his lips
And
and he would start gagging.
So that was so he didn't have to get dental work.
Exactly. But then it got so bad that he then couldn't control it.
Oh.
He could I said, take your own finger and let me see how far you can go before you gag. He could take his own finger and go almost clear down his throat, no gagging.
Wow.
So it was impossible to work on him. So that's one of the things I got into sedation dentistry. And then I've taken to a whole new level, IV sedation, learned that 20 years ago. And it really helps with patients like him. I mean, we had to sedate him just to even like clean his teeth.
Yeah.
But it really, really helped him. In certain
Sure.
patients, they really need that.
Yeah.
So, how did you find out about us? And so you're one of the earliest people that we've hired, or the most recent person that
Mhm.
we've hired. Is there anybody that's more recent than you?
Tanya.
Oh, yeah, Tanya. Okay. So,
Sweet Tanya.
yeah, sweet Tanya from Texas. Yeah, with the accent. We love Tanya. So how did you find McRae Dental?
I think like on Indeed or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so I can't remember. Like you came in and the team literally comes to me. I think it was Katie, and they go, "We're hiring her." I didn't even get a chance to even meet you. No, no. They came in and they go, "Okay, we're hiring her. This is the type of person that absolutely fits." Tell me how you like your job.
I love it. I really do. I just feel so lucky to like have found an environment and a team and, doctors that I really love working for. Cause it's like one of the main things that really worried about me about moving to Boise, cause I really liked my job in Oregon and it had taken me a while to find a job I really liked and friends I really liked. But I knew I really wanted to move to Boise. So I was like, man, I'm excited to move, but I'm also like really anxious to start this job hunting process and starting over because obviously your job is a huge part of your life. You
Hmm.
spend so many hours with these people and in this environment that, it plays a huge part on, your mental health and your happiness. So I was like, shoot, I am not looking forward to starting the job hunting process. Like, I really like my job. This just sucks because I know I want to move, but, you know, I don't want to look for a new job and I hate going on interviews and the whole thing. So I was just like really dreading that process. So when I finally, like, I had gotten a job at this place just because I needed a job and I was like, I knew it was just going to be temporary because I was like extremely miserable there.
So the one thing I've learned about you
Uh huh.
is that you have very high standards.
I do.
In just about everything in life, right? I mean, everything.
Yeah.
It's like very high standards. Like this is the standards that I set, and I really don't care if you don't like my standards. This is what like guys,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, who you're gonna date.
Definitely.
That's the most important.
Yes.
So even a job, you were looking for a very high standard.
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm like,
I think that's important.
yeah, because I want to be like proud of where I work. I want to be happy. I want to be like enjoying what I do. So I was like really, really wanting to find something because I was so enjoying living in Boise and like being back with my family. So I was like finding the perfect job is just kind of like the last puzzle piece I need to, kind of settle in here. So I'd lived here, I think, for like 3 months before I found you guys. And then I went on an interview with Deborah, and I thought she was like extremely sweet and welcoming, and I just like got a really good impression. And then she invited me back for a working interview where I was able to meet the rest of the staff. I think you were out of town at that time.
Oh, me
Um,
out of town is I never am out of town.
Never.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
totally shocking. But then I was able to meet like
You-
the rest of the staff and I
So
just
you're
like
able to meet the rest of the team, right?
mhm.
So who on the team do you like the least? Like, what's the one person you're like, you know what? I just that they just they don't that I just don't get along with them
I think
very
I'll
much.
be Dr. John when he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're still single? Your eggs are drying up. You're running
Oh,
out of time."
he says that to you?
He does. And I know he's like
I'm just kidding because I did
passionate.
that too before.
No,
Not
and
to you.
I adore Dr. John. So, Dr. John, you probably won't watch this, but if you do, I love you. No, he was one of the first people I met actually, and I was like, "Who's this extremely tall man immediately asking me about being a one percenter?" I was like, "What's going on here?" But
Okay,
anyway,
he was really proud of that whole thing with the whole one
him being
percenter.
proud of a statistic?
Oh gosh. Okay, so Dr. John he works on the Mountain West side. He's actually my nephew, and he found this statistic about being a one percenter, and if you're so tall, the women want you to be so
And if you
tall,
make
and
so much money
yes,
and blah blah blah.
yeah, pretty much blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
it was their, it literally was their job, their finances, how tall you were, and he's like, "I'm in a one percenter," and
He's like, he just tried to say it all like nonchalant. I'm a one percenter.
and then he looks at me and he's like, "You're too short. You're not a one percenter." I'm like, "Okay, you know what? Okay, Jolly Green Giant, just get away."
Yeah,
Anyways, okay. So who is your favorite at the office?
I have to say it.
Say it.
Mindy.
Oh,
Mindy has my heart. She seriously is.
where is Mindy? Mindy was supposed to be here today. Why?
They told us we couldn't do a
That
duo.
is true. Well, we told you no more. Yeah, that's
But
true.
Mindy is seriously the most kind-hearted, just hardworking, just I can't even begin to like say enough good things about her. And I was really um like expecting that starting this job, I was like, okay, there's a lot I have to learn. And they warned me, like, they're like, okay, it's gonna be overwhelming. I was brand new to dental, and it was, but I like Mindy was such a great person to have train me because she was so patient and she's so knowledgeable. And like I don't know if I could have done it if it wasn't Mindy there, because if I had to ask her the same question 40 times, she wasn't like, kind of like, "Ugh, we went over this last week." It
Okay,
was like
here's the problem. You're talking up Mindy so much, people are going to be seeking out Mindy to want
I
to.
know they already do.
Yeah, I know. And you know what?
They're like, "Who's this new girl and where's Mindy?"
Mindy, you're not going anywhere. We love you, and you have to stay right where you're at.
But yeah, I just adore her and she's amazing.
She really is. You work with, so you work in the front office.
Yes.
You have one of the hardest jobs in the whole office. What is your specific job that I would hate your job, but oh my gosh. Okay. What do you do? What's your main focus?
So I guess my title is like financial coordinator. So just generally, dealing with people and they check out and going over finances and insurance and scheduling appointments. And it's not bad, Dr. McRae.
Talking about money, is it hard when you have to say, okay, that your treatment plan came to $42,576?
I mean,
Here's the
it's definitely a big number.
what's the biggest problem in all of that when you have to deal with the whole team? I know what your biggest problem is.
What do you mean with the whole team?
Like with the financial side of it, because you guys are always harping on one person. Always. Who is that?
It would be the gentleman sitting in front of me. He likes to say things that he shouldn't.
Like what? Well, because
No.
I want to give it away.
No. You're like,
I want to give it away, give it away, give it away now. That's
you just,
I want to do the work for people. That's the problem.
yes.
And it's like, oh man, okay, let's figure out how to be able to do this for these
And
people.
then they're like in there and they're like, yeah, Dr. McRae said like this and this. And we're like, he said what?
Yeah. And then you guys get after me and just, would you please shut up and just tell them what they need and then leave it to
And then
us.
give it to us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't do a good job with that.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I can't thank you enough for all. Seriously, you bring a light to the office. I'm serious. You really do. You are a ray of sunshine every single day. It's always fun to ask you the questions, even though you sometimes don't get them right, like a dog. What was the other question that? Oh, what was it? It was. Oh, I can't remember what the.
There's been a lot of questions.
I know. And it's most of the time it's just questions that kind of pop into my mind, or sometimes I'll get from CrossFit or something like
Yeah,
that.
I always wonder where you get these questions.
Well, like the CrossFit question today was pretty boring. The question was, what was the oh, what is one thing that you're extremely frugal about?
Mm, like I personally wouldn't spend money on my nails.
Okay.
They're my fingers. Why? Like,
So here's the thing I think about fingernails.
yes.
Personally, and I think most dudes, we could care less.
Yeah, yeah.
It really, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, look at those beautiful fingernails. No, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, that's the least, but here's what I think it is. Women care about other women's fingernails,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
And it's also, the other thing is like, I'll come in and I'll be working on a patient, and then somebody else will come in and they'll
I
immediately.
love your fingernails.
Or what is the other thing that women always compliment other women on? Their
Their
shoes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say their eyelashes.
No. Well, so here's the problem with the eyelashes now. Do you have porcupines? Do you have the fake
No.
ones? Okay, the porcupine. I call them porcupines because it looks like porcupines in their
Yeah.
eyes. It's like a little bit's okay, and then they take it just too far.
Yeah, it's like an addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it's kind of, I call it falling off the cliff. It's the aesthetic problem with a lot of people. You get a little bit of aesthetics and you look good.
Yeah.
You do a little more, you look even better. You do a little more, you
And then
even
you
look
look
better. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you fall off the cliff.
Yes, that's very true.
And that can happen. But I noticed like some one of the assistants or a hygienist will come in and they go, "You have such cute shoes." I would never say that to another guy. Come in and go, "Oh man, your boots are amazing. Those are really
So, as a guy, when you walk up to another man, what is something you notice about them?
Hmm.
Like their fitness, their
Okay. Well, you're always. I think. I think it's just common that you kind of size them up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a subconscious thing,
for sure.
and it's a little bit of a sizing up. Um, I think it's also the confidence that you have.
Oh, I think that's so true. It's like I feel like the way you feel about yourself
Yes.
really affects how you view other people and like what you choose to notice in other people.
Yes. And so if you're around extremely, like, okay, let's take it to a different level. If you saw someone extremely famous and let's just say they're at a restaurant
Hmm.
and it's somebody that you would like to meet, are you going to go up to that person?
No,
Why? A lot of people would.
because they're, I don't, well, first of all, I don't care about famous people.
Okay.
So
Any famous people.
it depends like how you define famous because there's like people I admire that have a following that I
Is there anyone that if you saw in a restaurant, you would say, no matter what, I'm going to go and say something to that person?
Jordan Peterson.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be someone that if I
What would
saw
you say to him?
I'd say I think you've changed a lot of people's lives and you're an incredible influence and I just wanted to thank you.
Why do you like him so much?
I just think that in a world of people who like talk about a lot of nonsense and don't focus on things that are really important, he says the hard things and I just think he's a really good influence on young people and especially young men. And I think that's really important. So I just think he's a really good influence.
I agree. I think I really like when he's in a debate. I love how he kind of pauses,
Hmm.
thinks for a minute, and he's never in it. He doesn't attack. He
He's not
responds.
in a hurry to
No,
say what he needs to say. He's very like methodical and thoughtful about his responses.
but then his responses are so
They're
intelligent.
hard hitting too.
Yeah, and then it's so he waits for them basically to attack him, and then he kind of just destroys them
Yes.
in a very nice way.
But it's like amazing to watch because yeah, I think he's amazing. So
He's a master at that, and I
he
wish
is.
I was better at that because sometimes you get in an argument and you sometimes you want to get defensive. He's never defensive.
Hmm.
It's more along the intellectual line of being able to be able to tell someone truly how he feels. And I do think he has been a huge influence to the young population
Hmm.
because there's not a lot of good role models to be able
For
to.
sure.
Yeah, that's good. Anybody else that so it's let's living or dead? Anybody else that you would say I would go and I want to meet that person?
Hmm. I don't know about dead. I mean, there's some like I don't really have. I love music, but I don't love an artist enough to be like want to resurrect them and meet them. I mean, I love like Andrew Huberman. I do love Joe Rogan.
Oh, I do too. I love all those.
Um, yeah, I think all those people are really cool. But
I would really like to meet Joe Rogan someday.
me too. I would too.
So so Joe Rogan, Andrew Huberman, I totally agree with.
And
I would.
Andrew Huberman's very handsome. Have you
Okay.
seen that picture of him carrying a rock up a mountain?
No. And do I care? No.
But you would be impressed
Is
because
he buffer than buff?
oh yeah, and
Okay.
he's carrying just like a rock, a massive rock up a mountain, and I'm like, wow.
So if Andrew Huberman saw this and gave you a call, are you?
I'm picking up the damn phone. I think he's married.
Is he
But
married?
I'm not sure.
I don't think he.
Sure.
I don't think he is.
He doesn't talk a lot about like his personal life
That's
on
true.
the internet, but he did the other day say he is religious, which I thought was interesting
No, that's good.
because a lot of scientists aren't. So I thought that was just interesting.
Well, I think it's interesting that you left out the most important person that you wouldn't want to meet,
Who?
Jesus.
Well, I didn't know that was in the category.
Well, I just said living
I'll
or
meet him
dead.
one day when I'm dead.
That's the one person I would want to meet is Jesus. I would go up. I would go up and see. But I agree with you. I am not. Oh, the other person I would really like to meet is Post Malone. For some reason,
You do like Post
I
Malone.
like Post Malone.
He's a cool guy.
Yes, and I think it would be fun to just sit down and just talk to him.
He seems very like down to earth and respectful.
Well, he's
and,
a
like,
gun guy. He loves guns. Oh, we got a lot to talk about, Post Malone. Yeah, and I really loved you at Stampede. You were amazing. And Jelly Roll. I would like to actually talk. I didn't think I liked Jelly Roll, but I'm at the Stampede, and he was amazing. Eric Church. Okay, whoever you decided to do your reamed on that. Well, we were there. He got booed.
I heard that.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Awful. Miranda Lambert was actually really good.
Oh.
The Beach Boys were really good.
So tell the people about how you stayed in a yurt.
Okay, so this is kind of cool. I decided that my wife said, "Hey, let's do more activities,"
which I love that.
And I do too.
To do that.
And so I thought, okay, what could I do for Christmas? I ended up buying this. It was actually a tent. There was yurts. I mean, a full-on yurt that you could buy. It's called the Safari Club, and it's expensive. It's not cheap, but oh, so worth it if you're going to go to Stampede. So you buy these tents, and they have air conditioners in them. The coolest part is they have a full size, like queen size bed, your own private like area that you can be in, and then like they have really nice showers and bathrooms, and it's like very upscale outhouses.
Yeah.
But they're huge trailers. And so you got all these different showers. So you can get a shower. Then they feed you breakfast and dinner. And they have these air conditioned areas because it was hot and dusty and you just want to get out of it.
Yeah.
So it's 1 week prior to going to Stampede. And we were both kind of excited to go. And I decided I better check on everything. I didn't have tickets.
I think I remember hearing about this. Weren't they in the lab somewhere?
No. I had bought the safari tent,
but not the tickets.
But the tickets to the actual festival. So I didn't have any tickets. I know. I didn't. It's like, you know me. I'm not going to read everything. I thought it just. Of course, I'm paying this amount of money. I'm going to get into Stampede.
Yeah.
No. So luckily, SeatGeek. Thank you. I was able to get on SeatGeek and pay a little extra for tickets. And I got really actually pretty good tickets.
Because you had seats and you didn't have to stand the whole time, which is crucial.
It is. And what was nice
especially for old man.
Okay.
Just kidding. No, truly, if I went, I couldn't stand the whole time.
Yeah.
My feet would be
Well, because it's so large and you're going from venue to venue, and then at night you are at the main stage. And it's huge. There's 70,000 people all staring at the main stage. We happen to get this elevated area. It was quite a ways from the main stage, but in the main area, which made it so much better. If you're going to Stampede, let me give you a couple things to just, if you can afford to go to the Safari Club and to get a tent, by all means do it.
Because then you don't have to deal with Ubering and trying to shuttle away from
they have golf carts.
Because it's like think about 70,000 people trying to call an Uber at once.
Exactly.
You don't have to deal with that hassle.
So what was great is that they had private little golf carts, and they would take you to a private entrance. And you
Mhm.
could go in these private entrances at 3 different locations. One of them was at the main stage. When you're done, you leave the main stage, you go into your little private area, boom, you're right
You
back.
can rest for a minute,
Go
recharge.
have dinner and go to bed. I mean, that was well worth it. And I don't know that I would do Stampede without it. Now they've got the yurts. They have
Mhm.
true yurts, which has a full family room and everything else. I don't know how expensive it was for mine. The tent was like $5,000
Mhm.
expensive, but the yurt,
But if you think about if you were going there and had to go get
that's
an
true.
Airbnb
It's
or
gonna
a
be expensive.
hotel, it's going to be really expensive.
It's not gonna be that as expensive. The yurt for um, Coachella. Coachella is a week prior to
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Stampede. So the Coachella for that event, those yurts went for $30,000.
That's absurd.
Oh,
That
30 grand.
is absurd.
I think so too. I mean, you got to have some serious money.
And
It's
then I feel like Coachella has become more of like an influencer like fashion show than about music.
I would
So
not
you're
want to go
paying
there.
like 30 grand to walk around in some fringe when like and pretend you're like Western
Yeah, exactly.
and no clothes in the heat and then just not even enjoy the music.
That's true.
So if I personally lose respect for people that go all out for Coachella because I'm
There-
like it's not even about the music. You're just it's about like showing.
I think so
I
too.
feel like
And
it's a show off
I think
fest.
I don't think that I want to go see the artists, the
Yes.
country music artists. They, I think, are a little more sincere. Personally, I like their music better. And
Yes.
so
Me too.
it was a phenomenal event. I'm glad I went. I don't know that I would do it every year, but I would do it every once in a while.
But it's a new experience.
It was
You got
new,
to
and it was,
experience with your wife
yep.
for the
Yeah.
first time together and you had a blast and got some cool
Okay,
merch.
the other, yes, we did. Got some really good ones. I loved Post Malone. That was the whole point. Post Malone was amazing. But if you go to Stampede, when you go during the day, it's hot as hell. I mean, it's dusty.
Oh.
So you're gonna be in shorts, and you're not gonna. I mean, like a t-shirt. But then at night, have a coat. Oh my gosh, it
The
got
desert gets cold
so
at night.
cold, and then the wind was blowing like crazy.
Yeah.
So it was so cold. We couldn't wait to get back, and because we didn't have enough. Luckily, I had bought some. So the
You
merch.
bought some swag.
I did. I bought some swag. And so my wife goes, I really don't want anything. Just get me a t-shirt. I end up getting her a sweatshirt, which she told me not to get.
Because you were waiting in line for a long time.
Yeah,
So
it
you're
was like
like,
an
I'm
hour and a half.
gonna get some stuff if I'm waiting in this line.
If I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna go ahead and buy a bunch of things. So I bought some swag. I bought what 6 items. It was like $400, 300 something bucks. The lady said the lady in front of me had bought 37 items.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I'm like, oh, how?
What was her bill? Do you know?
I think it was like $4,000.
It's crazy.
I don't know, but okay, she might have been buying for a lot of other people.
Or reselling it or something.
Yeah, who knows?
Something.
Okay, I got to ask you about one thing. Something that I did that you absolutely said you love. That you love, like on Thursdays. You go to one place because you're okay, you have high standards.
Yeah.
Okay? Even your food is high standards. But this one place is like not so okay, I went there. And I got to tell you, okay, what's this one place?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. In-N-Out. Okay, stinking Boise we finally got an In-N-Out. The first, I think, week, it was an 8-hour wait. If you're waiting in line to go,
I am an In-N-Out fan, but I have not waited more than like 10 or 15 minutes. Okay.
8 hours,
That's absurd.
it is absurd.
Who has the time or the will to stand in line for a hamburger?
Apparently, most of Boise does because
yeah,
they
that's
will
true.
stay in line. I was like, okay, I don't understand.
No.
I didn't understand why the hype about In-N-Out. Then I went and I kind of understood it.
Mm-hmm.
Their produce is amazing. Like
Very
the lettuce, very fresh.
Yeah.
Tomatoes, the onions, all that's great. It is a very simplistic menu.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Compare
Me
that
too.
to like Cheesecake Factory, where it's like a book.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cheesecake Factory is such an overwhelming experience.
It is, but I love Cheesecake Factory.
I do too. My sister, that's like her favorite
Oh,
restaurant.
it is. What does she get?
I don't even know, but she just loves it.
Do you
She's
know what you get?
at Cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I went there for the first time the other day in like years, and I just got a burger. It was because my sister begged me to go with her, and it was pretty good.
Yeah,
But I was like, I love how the decor hasn't changed. I felt like I was in like a Vikings like
yeah, kind of.
kitchen or something.
But their blue cheese is amazing. Anyways, the my my wife always gets the miso salmon or I can't remember the other salmon, and then I get the chicken marsala, no marsala sauce, but the Bellagio sauce.
I love chicken marsala.
It's good. They're yeah, but you don't. I always get the chicken. It's really good. Anyways, um, okay, In and Out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you went to In and Out. It was you said it was amazing,
Yeah,
and so
and I had Diet Coke.
and you had Diet Coke, and you hadn't had a lot of Diet Coke in your life up to this point, right?
Yeah, I've never been a big soda drinker. I'm still not.
You're still not a big soda drinker.
No. Is this a Diet Coke?
Diet Coke for you.
Thank
Diet
you.
Coke.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, a mukbang. This is great.
I-
Sip it into the
Yeah.
microphone.
Okay. Let me hear it.
I wish you could hear the bubbles. It's delicious, but let me tell you, it doesn't hit like it does it In and Out.
Okay. Why does it hit so good at In and Out?
It just does.
See, Diet Coke is not good for you, and I don't
I
drink
know.
very much of
Yeah,
it.
I'm not a big. I was like absolutely banned from drinking soda as a kid.
So your family was big into health.
Oh yes.
Still are.
Yes.
That's good though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like there was never soda in my house growing up. Like
So let's go back to the guy thing. What are your standards for a guy?
um well there's a lot of things that I look for.
So okay, give me the things that are like okay, deal breakers. Nope, done.
Well, they have to share the same faith as me. They have
Okay.
to share the same like political views as me and just like kind of I feel like the views that I have are very important to me.
Okay.
And they're
Well,
not
it's not just important to you; it's important to your family, right?
yeah. And my family is very important to me. So I could not be with someone if I didn't think they would get along with my family because we all spend a ton of time together.
Would it be okay if you didn't like his family?
Yeah. Christmas at mine.
Would that be even better because then it could be all the time at yours?
No, because I would hope to like get along with my future in-laws. I wouldn't want to have like, bad blood with them, but it's not my priority to get along with his family. But it
Okay.
is my priority that he would get along with mine.
But what if his views politically were a little bit different? No? No?
Because it's not even just like a view, because I feel like having like political views is just a simple way of putting it. Because to me, it's really, when it comes down to it, it's like fundamental. It's like how you view the world and people and like how you receive
So it's not really
information.
political. It's more like the values.
Yeah, it's more like your values. So we would like, and okay, we could have a few different values maybe, but we would really have to like align because that's very important to me.
Okay. Okay. So if he was perfect in every way, but he did not with oh, do I get controversial?
Sure.
Okay. Um, let's say he
So refreshing, by the way.
yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, yep.
That was really nice.
Well, there's a Subway right next door, and I was like, okay.
I thought you were gonna pull out an In-N-Out burger.
No. I was last minute. To be honest with you, I was really thirsty, and I was like, I need to get something to drink. Oh, let's get a Diet Coke because I don't drink Diet Coke very often either.
It's just a treat.
It is, but I really at one point I was drinking Diet Coke every time I got in an airplane, and I would have
You were getting a headache.
yes, I would drink it like 3 or 4 times in the flight, and then I started getting headaches, and I was like, what is going on? And then I realized it was the stinking Diet
Not
Coke.
a health beverage, but dang, it's good.
Mm-hmm. It is. Dang Diet Coke people. You know how to get us. So okay, let's say, all right, let's just do this.
Okay.
He loves Biden.
Can I say hell no?
Okay, what if he, okay, maybe not Biden. What if he loves um um Kennedy running for president?
That's acceptable because we could talk about it.
Okay.
I could, enlighten him, but Biden's just like a no. That's just like you're not my person.
You definitely are an Idaho person, that's for sure.
Yes.
How did you manage in Nevada? Well, Nevada is kind of purple.
Yeah,
I
they
think
are.
it's more purple, and Summerlin area is probably more red,
It is, yes.
right?
Yeah,
So you were made to be in Idaho.
I think so too. Just love it here. I fit right in. But the unfortunate part about being me
What?
is that a lot of people, so I don't spend a lot of time thinking about how people perceive me, but then when I meet new people and they're talking to me about how they perceive me, I'm like, you've got it all wrong.
What do you
Like
mean? I'm
like
not sure I
they
understand.
people meet me and they think I'm like a liberal girl that's like in the arts or something. And I'm like, I just don't understand why, you know? And it's just like even when I first started at McRae, they were all like, we totally had you all wrong. And I'm like, that's I think when people just like initially meet me, they totally have me like all wrong.
So they have you pegged
As
as
yeah.
a flaming liberal.
Yeah. And I'm like, that makes me really upset. But I'm not gonna like just like change my appearance so people think I'm
Oh no, 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 no. You know what? I've learned you got to be you.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm just saying, I'm like, dang, I wish people didn't like look at me and think I was liberal because that's super disappointing.
What's hard for me is I can't. I have a really hard time trying to determine like a tag for me. Like I don't feel like I'm a Republican anymore, honestly. I don't feel
Yeah.
like I'm not a Democrat. People know that. Even conservative to some degree is not really what
Do you feel more like a libertarian?
okay, I feel more libertarian. Like if you looked at me, the things that maybe is not so Republican, and maybe yes or no, but like I'm huge on the environment.
Hmm.
I want a clean environment. Um, those are the things that I don't. I want to make sure the environment is going to be good for many years to come. Do I think that the climate change crap that everybody is espousing, do I believe all that? Hell no. I think the climate changes here and there. Are we in a warming phase of the earth?
Sure. Yeah.
Is it associated by man-made? Yes, but it's also environmental. And is there things we can do to clean up? And should we? Yes, but to the detriment of the entire human population? No.
No. Yeah.
And we if
And I think also like people make that way more of like a hot ticket item than it needs to be.
Oh,
It,
absolutely. I mean, let's just look at solar, or solar or wind, all the wind turbines. The problem with the wind turbines is that okay, it makes the landscape completely ugly,
yeah. They're
and
not nice to look at.
no, and they're mechanical and they're going to fail.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have this scar upon our landscape. And we also know that if you really wanted to make the United States energy independent, we should be building small nuclear plants everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
why don't we? And that's going to clean up the environment better than anything, and really go into nuclear and be the very best at it. I just don't get it. But anyways, so the label that I would put on myself is I definitely not libertarian, because the leadership of libertarian is they're wackadoos.
They are.
And so
Mhm.
I don't like necessarily labels. What
Mhm.
I found myself when I was younger, I was extremely conservative. And I also thought you have to, for me, I hate to say it, but almost to like you, I you have to believe the way I. how I don't.
You've loosened up a little.
Well, I like to talk to people about their own ideas, and it helps me to be able.
Understand people
Yes.
more too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times it's where you grew up, how you grew up, and it's
Oh,
the people that
absolutely.
you.
It's just the influence that you.
Yes. Now, if you love Biden, and I can understand people not liking Trump.
Yeah,
I get that
absolutely. Yeah.
because there's things I can't stand about Trump. He's very narcissistic, but do I think he's better than Biden?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Biden, if you say I love the policies of Biden, what? Okay,
I'm like, have you
really listened?
been around?
Exactly. And look
Yeah.
what he's done. I mean, just look at the inflation, what he's done with the economy and everything else. Okay, we did get political. Holy cow.
Went off topic too.
Oh, what was the topic originally?
Would I ever date a guy that liked
Mm.
Biden? And I said, absolutely not.
Okay. So what are the other things that you are what would be like this would be one thing that would attract me?
Like I said, they would have to
Okay.
share the same faith as me.
Okay. Do they have to be fit?
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
super fit?
Not super, like they don't have to be like shredded beyond, but they have to be fit. Yeah.
Okay, so fit. Is there a height limit?
I mean, I would hope
So
that.
you are 5'2", right? I'm just kidding. You're 5'4"?
Yeah, I'm like 5'4", almost 5'5".
Okay. So what's the minimum? What is the minimum?
Oh man, I don't know about a minimum, but I would really hope that they would be taller than me.
But 5'5", would you date a guy 5'5"? Come
They
on,
would
you have
have.
high standards, but I just want to know what's your limits?
I don't know.
5'6", 2 inches taller.
I could do 5'6".
Okay,
Maybe.
so that's kind of your.
They would have to be beyond perfect. In, in other ways.
Okay. All right, so 5'6". Youngest.
They couldn't be younger than me.
21.
No. No.
You wouldn't date a guy. What if he was perfect in every way and he's 23?
He barely knows how to order a bar and a drink at a bar? No.
Okay.
They would have to be my age or older.
Okay, so let's job. What if they financially, do they have to be set?
Not set, but they have to have the potential to be like the provider.
So ambition.
Yes. Like I don't expect them to be like, have everything in order, but there has to be potential there for like, you have to see that they could be there one day.
And so how many men have you met like this?
None. I'm waiting.
So is there anything that you want to tell the audience?
info@mcraedental.com. Send your resumes.
Andrew Huberman, you can apply. It's totally fine. She is ready. Andrew Huberman, yeah, the intellectual,
Yes.
the whole package, right?
No, and I've met some really great guys, I really have, and it just hasn't been, the right person for me. And I'm just in no rush. Like
You shouldn't be.
I feel like I'm in the perfect predicament to be single. Like I have my own place, I have my own friends, and I love my family, I love my job. Like my life is very fulfilled, and when it happens, it happens.
I'm still trying to get my son Nick. If it doesn't work with I don't remember her name. Come on.
Not have made that great of an impression.
Well, it's been a pleasure to be able to talk to you today.
Thank you for my Diet Coke.
You're very welcome. Any last things that you want to say or ask?
Oh, I do have something.
Okay.
I know this is I feel bad bringing this up because
No.
we had such a great time, but I know this is a sensitive subject.
We might have to just edit it right here.
But tell me about the time you dressed up as Elsa.
Oh my God. Okay.
Thank John for that.
Thanks, John. All right, so
I've seen pictures.
Oh, all right.
And you look great.
Oh, Yeah. You might have to get the picture on this one, Nate, to be able to show. No, I don't want to show that.
I know that, but I
It
had to bring it up, so I'm sorry.
okay. So we always do something for Halloween. And were you here the last Halloween?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Um, so I've had to make up for it. We're literally driving home from an elk hunt, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to be, and I was trying to decide, and he goes, I know what you should be. You should be Elsa, and I was like, oh no. He goes, no one would guess that you'd be Elsa, and I was like, I don't want
That's
to,
true.
and that is true. So I went home and told my wife. Immediately, the light bulbs went off in her head. Well, I've got this, blah, 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 blah. And I just
She was
went,
like, and I can put lipstick.
yeah. Well, she didn't even say that. She's like, I have all that I could do. And I went, you know what? Go ahead. Let's go for it. And I kind of just forgot about it.
Uh-huh.
So the day came, she had everything ready to go. She had this.
Your wife is awesome for this. By the
She
way.
is. She's amazing. And she had this dress that she had bought. I don't know. Anyways, it was like in a costume thing. I put the dress on. It barely fits to my shoulders. She has to get like bobby pins in the back. It's completely open.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she does something for the boobs and her. I don't remember what it was. And then she puts this shawl over because the whole back is completely open. So she has this shawl. I haven't seen myself. She then puts this wig on. Then she does the makeup. I'm refusing to look. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel right. This is just not, oh man, I don't like this at all. And I was like, fine, I'm going to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I show up at work. I didn't even look at myself at home. I'm
You
driving.
were too afraid.
I was like, oh gosh, dang it. So I go to work and everybody is dying
They're
laughing.
just busted.
They're laughing. And then I went,
I busted up laughing just looking at the pictures.
well, so then I was like, oh my goodness, I got to see myself. So I look and I was mortified.
You realize what you had done walking out of
Yes.
the house.
I'm a transvestite. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh. What? And this was just before, just before Bruce Jenner came out. And so
It was a hot.
it was a hot right after this, but it was just before. I don't remember, but it was just starting to become a hot topic. And then we had to go to the village, and because we were having lunch at the village, and I'm like, okay, I'm all by myself. I'm walking through the village as Elsa, and a grown man dressed as Elsa, and then all of a sudden, I had mothers coming up to me wanting pictures with their children.
Just great.
I don't want any part of this. I just want to get done. I want to get to lunch and I want to get home. And then anyways, when the day was over and then I saw the pictures, I told everyone I will never dress as a woman ever again. And then the next year I think I was Thor. And then the year after that, I was Wolverine. It was as masculine as I could. Yeah.
Elsa thing.
Yeah. Wolverine. I was Wolverine the very next year. And I remember driving on my motorcycle, and it was so cold because it's October, and I was trying to get the Harley into the office to be Wolverine, and I was like, I don't care how cold it is, I am going to make up for stupid Elsa.
And you have quite the drive on it.
Yes, it was a long time. Anyways,
I'm so glad I got to see that picture. It made my day when I saw it.
Well, Cassie, please don't go anywhere. Don't let any man drag you anywhere. Okay, I'm going to set a standard there. They have to live here, or they have to be willing. Andrew Huberman, you got to move to Boise because she's not going anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay, that's a promise, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Cassie. You're awesome.
Thank you.